Hello and welcome back to the Lamenters, our Lamentations of the Flame Princess campaign. We are still in the Cursed Chateau, and as the party learned in the last episode, this chateau truly has some strange things going on. We're actually going to start by picking up with a little bit of a rewind, because one of the players, Martin, your character Leonard was blissfully asleep when you heard a ear-shattering scream, like the kind of scream of almost like a murderous suffering of pain. And jumping out of bed, startled and awake, it sounded like the scream came from perhaps further down the hall from your room. What do you do? What do you grab? What do you go check on?
Okay, so first I will try to light my lantern so I can see.
Okay.
Then I would like to load my crossbow and take a few of my crossbow bolts and peek out of the door.
Okay, you look out of the door of your room and you see basically darkness. There's a little moonlight coming from some of the windows in the hallway. But you hear sounds kind of down the hall and below you. It sounds like you hear like a thick thudding sound, as if somebody's trying to knock on something or bash down something.
Hello, anybody there? I will pull out the lantern.
You don't see anyone. And then you hear a sound of wood just shattering open.
Okay.
And what sounds like maybe almost like the sounds of combat. Like you hear like metal on metal, like weapons on armor kind of sounds.
Okay. I'll try to move forward toward the coast, but I will try to remain a little bit hidden.
Okay. Following the sound, making your way, you look down the stairs, you see where the stairs turn, you see a painting, but the painting is torn, and the image of the man in the painting looks like maybe an old noble person, but you see an enormous volume of blood that has splattered seemingly from the painting where it's been torn, and it's all over the walls and the floor of the stairs. You hear those sounds below you. You continue stepping carefully around that blood pool and going downstairs to see a door leading into the armory that has been literally just bashed through, and it's hanging from like one hinge. And looking through that doorway, you see your comrades in the armory.
Yeah, I will move to them and ask, "Hey guys, what happened? What happened around here?"
As you guys are all just having defeated the animated suits of armor, peeking through the door back where Liber and Oldrad came through, you see Leonard. And just as Leonard asks, "Hey guys, what's happening here?" that's when Landry bursts out. And Landry, yelling out, runs and attacks. The group fights Landry off deftly, and as you make your way over there, Leonard, they stab Landry and defeat him. The armory, the great hall of the armory, is now quiet. Once again, you see scattered suits of armor, in many cases broken, buckled. You see, a few swords scattered around the room. And you see Sarah with the metal boot of one of the suits of armor on one of her hands for some reason.
Just look visibly confused and look toward them.
You thought I forgot about that, didn't you? So you guys now see Leonard, and he has joined you in the armory.
What's happening around here? This stuff on the stairs looks strange.
The armory itself looks the same as it did during the day. But you remember the suits of armor being like, posed and being stood up in nice orderly columns, and now they're just scattered all over the ground.
Yeah.
When you're looking at the dead body of Landry, he definitely doesn't look the same as when you saw him during the day.
What's the group doing around the body? Or are they just resting after the fight?
Well, everybody is there. Everybody's resting. But yeah, what do you guys do at this point?
Oh.
I want to take a quick search of Landry's body.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that too.
Stay wary of your suits of armor. The other one.
We didn't expect anything like this. We don't know what's going on. Oh, by the way, I think there are ghosts in this mansion. In fact, no. I know there are ghosts in this mansion.
Who is searching? Who's searching Landry's body?
Me.
All right. I'll let up to 2 of you search. So go ahead and make a d6 roll. If you have any dots in search, that will benefit you. Otherwise, just let me know if you happen to roll a 1.
3.
I was helping, so.
Okay.
1 dot in search.
I rolled a 1, but I have a 1 in searching.
Okay. So you see that his clothing, basically his external appearance, clothing-wise, seems the same. You notice that he has a little metal ring around his belt with a set of 5 different keys. And the keys each look different, like they're not identical. Bane, as you're searching, you see like a chain around his neck. And you kind of tug at that, and when you pull that out, at the end of the chain is a very old-looking symbol of the one true God. It's very, I don't want to say primitive, but it's more like, it looks like somebody that would have made this by hand as opposed to like a skilled artisan. It's kind of like a lump of lead with very stylized shapings of like the face of a bearded man.
I'll rip it from his neck and wrap it around my hand. And then with that same hand, I'll take some crude piece of metal that's lying around from the battle, and I'll take a piece of his flesh for my trophy room.
Okay. Any particular pieces, like an ear, a finger?
Finger.
Okay. All right. Smash cut. Bivoj, you are in the attic, and you have not had, I mean, it's been like an hour, and you have not had any encounters. Nothing strange has happened, other than when you saw that person when you first got up there, kind of crossing from the stables to the house. You're just sitting up there in the dark with just a little bit of moonlight coming through the window.
Can't sleep. That's a problem. Insomnia. I take my dagger and like put it behind my belt, and maybe somebody else is awake as well. Maybe you can have some wine or stuff. Yeah. And I go downstairs just to look if anybody is awake, and maybe we can have some good chat together.
Okay, so you kind of gather your blanket and your candle and you start making your way down the stairs. As you're kind of coming around the spiral staircase towards the secret door that goes back into your room, you hear like movement in your room, like things being moved around.
I rush into my room. Who's there?
As you do, you see a female form wearing one of the maid uniforms turn around at you, and by the dark hair you're judging that maybe this was one of the maids that you saw setting up the rooms earlier. But when she turns around to you, you notice that her eyes are like wide open and bloodshot, and she has kind of like almost a bestial appearance on her face, like her fangs are bared, and she just looks angry, like full of rage.
Gosh, lady, you need to go to bed. You look tired as hell.
She kind of cocks her head at you and growls.
Yeah, I'm hungry too, but the dinner was good, so maybe there are some leftovers in the kitchen. You can go there and check, then go to bed again. I don't need service till morning.
Make a charisma roll under.
Oh my gosh, I have so bad charisma. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have 16 on my 10 charisma.
Okay, it's almost like she's like trying to understand what you're saying, and then as you finish, she just lunges at you. Roll a d6.
Okay, d6. 1.
Okay, you go first.
Okay. I say like, calm down, lady, and
She's rushing at you, and you notice as she's rushing at you, the tips of her fingers, there's no flesh on them. It looks like just bone popping through, and it seems sharp.
Yeah, as she's rushing me, like, calm down, lady, and I point my knife towards her. Maybe she stick into it.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Okay. That's very bad. That's 1.
Okay, she kind of circles and spins past you.
I'm sorry, 5.
Raking at you with her claws. That's a 15. What is your armor class with no armor?
12.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's like 12 is base armor without modifiers. So should I add modifier to it?
Do you have?
I have +3 to dexterity.
Oh, you do. All right, so so you actually have a 15. So she still hits you.
Okay.
The first claw attack does 1 point of damage. Second swing is a miss. She's basically leaping at you, full on clawing at you.
Okay, like, lady, this got personal. I don't know what you want, but I'm slashing to her for change.
Okay, are you still trying to hold your dagger out towards her?
No, I go fully berserk.
Okay, attack.
That's better. 10.
10 is a miss. She attacks you twice. The first attack is a 16, the second is a 10. And for that attack, you do 2 more damage.
She does.
All right. Your turn.
Okay, lady. Can I press the attack?
Yeah.
So I press the attack, which means I have -4 to AC.
Okay.
Oh, that's 15.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
Uh, 1.
Okay. She takes that one seemingly with no problem. She swings out at you. This time, both claws hit. 16 and a 15. You take 5 total more damage.
Oh. Okay, lady. See you tomorrow. And I fake the attack and run towards the doors.
Okay. Make me a charisma roll under again.
Yeah, that's 7 out of 10.
Okay. So you kind of like deceive her and feint, and as she goes to sweep in on you again, you duck and run out the door. Where are you going? The second floor like is silent. Like you don't hear any of your friends. You don't hear anyone snoring or moving.
I've saw someone outside, so I'm rushing downstairs, and
Okay.
I'm like calling, "Is there somebody? There's this crazy lady in my room."
Okay. You start running downstairs. The rest of you guys, as you're finishing searching Landry's body, you hear Bivoj's voice yelling out from above. And you hear the sound of someone frantically coming downstairs.
I run that way.
Shut up. Bivoj, we're in the armory.
A moment later, Bivoj comes down the stairs and enters the armory. You can see that he is cut in several places. And the clothing, like the pajamas that he was wearing, are actually torn in almost like a claw-like pattern where there's blood.
Oh, guys, you're all here. Well, there was a crazy lady in my room. She did not understand that she had to go to bed. It's too late for service, you know?
I think
She
you're
attacked you?
misunderstanding, friend. This place is cursed, full of monsters and ghosts.
Yeah, but I don't need a service till morning. I don't care if they are ghosts or not. I just
I'm looking
wanted
over
to
his shoulder if that lady is coming.
You're looking over your shoulder. You don't see anyone coming from the direction he came from. Why don't all of you roll a d6 and tell me, raise your hand if you happen to roll a 1.
Nope.
Fantastic. Because as Claude, as you are looking past Bivoj, out of the corner of your eye, seemingly from up above on the second floor on the balcony that overlooks the armory, you see something jump.
All right. Quickly turn that way and
The
what's that
question
over
is,
there?
who shall be the victim? And once again, the dice gods do not bless Oldrad. Oldrad, you see a chambermaid. Though her hair is crazy and matted, her eyes wide and bloodshot, and her she's like foaming at the mouth, and her teeth are bared, and her claws, which are literally sharpened bones at the end of her fingers, dives over towards you.
Mm-hmm.
With an 18 on that attack.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
So you are going to take 4 hit points of damage as she falls on top of you, thrusting one of her claws into your shoulder.
I shout out in pain. Ah!
The rest of you now see the chambermaid named Rixenda, though she does not look like she did during the day, as she is just on top of Oldrad trying to tear into him. So we will go to Leonard Coy. Leonard, what do you do?
I think I would be a little bit jumpy, so immediately as something starts to rushing towards her, I try to unload the crossbow into her.
Okay, shoot your crossbow.
Oh, it's 1, so pretty bad.
That is awesome. All right.
Don't shoot me.
Or I can remember. This system is high or low?
To attack, it's high on a d20.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's so. Your crossbow misfires and the string snaps. This brings us to Liber.
I'm going to attack with my rapier.
Okay. Proceed.
4.
You lunge forward, but the bustling, whirling motion of the crazed Rixenda is just so difficult to pinpoint. You lunge forward, missing her, kind of cutting through one of the gaps in her dress. Havardr.
Could I try shoving her off of Oldrad?
I think so. Let's go ahead and make that move.
Eight to hit.
You shove into her, but she's just, it must be the adrenaline, because she doesn't even have that big of a build, but she just seems like an immovable force. Which brings us to Sarah.
Well, I have this boot on my left hand and the dagger in my right. I'd like to put my left hand forward and use the boot to shove her. What do I roll for that?
Make an attack roll.
Okay, so that's just a regular 20.
Yep.
Any
No modifiers.
No modifiers. Okay. Cool. 3.
You kind of push / shove / punch with your boot hand, and it kind of glances off of her, and the metal on the boot kind of tears at a little bit of her uniform, but it doesn't seem to push her off. This brings us to Claude.
Yeah. I rush on up and hack at her with my sword. And that will be 18 to hit.
That is a hit. Roll damage.
And that's 6 damage.
6 damage. Oh my, oh my. Okay. Bivoj.
I quickly look around myself if I see any throwing weaponry.
No, not really.
So in that case, I jump into the fray.
Okay. Game on. What are you attacking with?
I'm attacking with dagger. I rolled 20, which is 23. And I presume it hits. So
yes.
For damage, it's 3.
3 damage. So that's 3 more damage. Okay. And finally, Bane.
With the swing of my mighty battle axe, I jump into battle. 13.
You swing the battle axe down, and she just rolls out of the way. As she rolls, she spins at all of you, and she screams. The scream is the most terrifying sound that perhaps you've ever heard, because now everybody in the armory has to make a save versus paralyze. So this is on a D20. If you look up on your character what your save versus paralyze is, you want to roll higher than that target number. So, for example, those of you who are fighters, let's say, specifically most of you, for whatever reason, those of you who are fighters have a save versus paralyze. And you're going to want to roll higher than that save versus paralyze.
Pass.
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 Failed.
Nat
Fail.
20, pass.
Failed.
Fail.
Okay, those of you who failed, you are paralyzed and cannot make any actions for 1 minute. That is a lot of rounds of combat. So that's what she did. Now, who failed? Raise your hand. Excellent. Oldrad, there's a crazy maid on top of you, and it's your turn.
So obviously she's very close. I'm going to grab her by the face and I'm going to cast reverse Cure Light Wounds.
Oh. Oh.
Let me relook. I just had that spell up until I had to look at my saving throw. So that's going to be a D6 plus my level. So that'll be a D6 plus 3 of damage. That's going to be 5 damage. I don't know if I have to roll to attack for that though.
Well, that's what I'm looking up.
Well, if it hits, it does 5.
Nope. Doesn't say there needs to be.
Happens?
It's just range of touch. So you reach up and you cause 5 damage, and Rixenda collapses. Like, you notice that there's a brief moment where her face kind of freezes up, and then she just collapses.
Shove her off of me.
Her body kind of rolls heavily, inanimately over onto the side.
Yeah, I just struggled to my feet because I still heard that point blank range, but saved and assessed the situation with my other comrades.
Okay, what are the rest of you who are not paralyzed doing?
I go over to her body and turn her over with my hand that has the boot on it. Ascertain that she is dead. If she has any glimmer of whatever, I take care of that.
She is quite dead. And she remains in this kind of bestial, disheveled form that is very different from the well-manicured maids that you saw during the day.
Are there any axes around? Something similar to that?
Further down the hall in the armory, there are like mounted weapons, like there are axes, a couple pikes that are in like stands.
Yeah.
Some swords.
I'm gonna try grab an axe that looks something useful for a beheading, and walk back over and behead both the Landry and the maid.
Okay. Landry and Rixenda are now beheaded.
Yeah. And I'm gonna store those heads some distance away from the bodies.
Okay. What happens with the rest of you?
as Claude is doing his grisly business and trying to search the armory for any kind of daggers, maybe some shorter spears, anything that can be used.
There are no spears, no bows, no crossbows. You see pikes, you see long swords.
Oh, well, for now, longsword have to suffice. So I pick one, just for the time being.
Okay. Bane, what are you doing?
Bane takes a defensive position near the paralyzed.
Okay. After about a minute, those of you who were paralyzed come out of your paralysis.
Welcome
Yes.
back.
Sarah.
While we are waiting for them to come out of their paralyzation, I'd like to search her body.
Yeah, she doesn't have any particular items on her. You search, you don't find any keys, any personal items.
Do her shoes fit me?
Sure.
I'll put them on.
Okay. So those of you who were paralyzed, you come out of your paralysis. And again, you guys are in the armory. Seems quiet.
I look to my comrades. Myself and Liber were going to go investigate the main hall where we had supper and everything, until we ran into the situation where one of the portraits on the wall was alive, apparently, and spoke to us and told us of the Lord's evil demeanor and his love of torturing his guests. And then we heard the confrontation over here, and we came.
I think we should still head over there and search the Great Hall.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to clean this up or anything?
No, I'm not cleaning this up.
What's to clean? Everybody must have heard everything that happened here, especially that stream. I have looked at my crossbow. Is it fixable, or would I need more equipment?
You would need some materials to restring your crossbow.
Okay, so I will look for alternative weapon, some knife or some dagger.
There are no daggers. No, there were knives in the dining room and the kitchen, but there's none in the armory.
Okay, so it's lightest thing which I could start with, probably.
There are long swords. That's the lightest weapon.
Well, Leonard, I have some sinew I saved up in my room. I want to get my bow anyway. Should I get that for you? Maybe you can jerry-rig it?
Just as a point of order, how many of you are wearing armor right now?
I'm not, but I wanted to go back to my room to get it.
Okay. So it occurs to you that most of you are wearing pajamas or robes and maybe have some of your weapons or have scrounged to find some weapons.
Yeah, perhaps we should outfit ourselves for other dangers.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't, just speaking from a personal Bill Allen level, you don't have to do that. I mean,
of course
it
not.
would just increase the probability that the Lamenters would end, 6 or 7 episodes before I intended it to. But that's fine. I mean,
you'll get no such satisfaction from me.
So the question is which wing are you going to first to resupply and armor up?
I think most people are in the East Wing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to go back up to the East Wing?
Sure.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming you're all doing this together?
Yeah, like nobody's going alone.
Yeah, we could head back up to our rooms and grab our own gear.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, but maybe there are other crazy ladies.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
nobody.
we go as a group to each other's room, and I help in
Yeah,
mine. I put on my dress and
that's-
you stand guard, and
That'll take
Okay.
some
Yes,
time,
yes.
but it's a good idea. Yes.
I mean, 2 or 3 can go in their own rooms and have the other guys
Yeah.
guard.
Okay, so you go up to the east wing, and you get up there. You don't see anything out of the ordinary. You do see, you get to your rooms. So Bane, Sarah, Claude, and Havardr, you were able to get to your rooms. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. Your stuff is all there. The rest of you, while you're waiting for them to get their stuff and get their armor on, you're keeping an eye on the hallways. No,
I sent my clothes out to be cleaned. Are they back?
no.
Okay, I'll find some kind of pants and a shirt in the wardrobe, then put my leather armor on,
Okay,
change into my boots.
very well. Bane,
I put on my chainmail. Still holding my great axe, I return, prepared for battle.
Claude,
Yeah, I put on my stuff and my chain armor, buckle up my quiver and my crossbow, and bring all my swords with me.
okay.
So I'm fully up.
Havardr,
I'm packing everything up, putting my
Okay.
armor on.
all right, very good, very good. After you guys gather your stuff from the east wing, am I right in thinking that your plan is to go to the west wing so the other people can resupply?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you go back down the stairs, you cross the armory, you go through those doors to the stairs, and you go up to the second floor. And going to those bedrooms. And for this, Liber, what are you doing?
Well, I didn't really unpack, so I grabbed my stuff, I put my armor on. Would a short bow be usable indoors like this?
Yeah,
So I'm gonna have it ready out with the arrow kind of ready just in case anything appears after I get dressed.
okay. Leonard,
I'm picking up my stuff, and is the weird disc still there?
is the what still there?
The weird disc from the with the runes from the
Yes, if it was in your bag, it's still there.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm picking the rest of my stuff.
Okay. And Bivoj?
Yeah, I go upstairs, take everything there is for me.
Okay. And Oldrad?
I get suited up, and then before I step back out into, like, I walked in by myself, and then before I step back out into the hallway, I say a prayer to the old gods for safety and to get me out of here.
Duly noted. All right, you guys are in the West Wing now, with the rest of the group having equipped themselves. Where to now?
We were heading to the main hall.
Yeah.
So you want to go back down to the armory and then to the dining room, the high hall?
Yeah.
All right.
Unless anyone has any other better ideas.
Liber, roll me some percentile.
Okay. $81.
Ooh, this could be fun. Let me see who has the highest. Well, this is just perfect. Okay, as you guys are leaving to head down the stairs, Sarah, you feel you feel like a presence, Sarah, like as if someone is putting their arm around your shoulder.
I look around.
None of your comrades are that close to you, but you feel an arm on your shoulder.
Wait, guys. I just felt as if there was an arm on my shoulder. Do you see anything?
You guys look around.
See?
You don't see anyone near Sarah.
I quickly try to poke behind Sarah with my spear.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
That's one.
Okay, you don't. You poke your spear into empty air.
Seems like nothing's there.
I try to move away.
Okay, you move away. You don't feel anything on your shoulder.
I look back. Is there anything on the walls? I look up.
You're standing kind of like at the landing at the top of the stairs.
Okay.
Down the stairs, you can see where Oldrad and Liber had encountered the painting. You see the painting of the old nobleman that looks like it's been cut, and you see blood that came out of it. And at this point now, the blood is mostly coagulated, but it's pooled on the ground, like on one of the stairs below where the painting was mounted. And you're looking down there, and you see in the pool of clear blood as if somebody or something is tracing something in the coagulated blood.
Okay. I cautiously walk up there. Hey, something's going on here.
When you get down to that area, you're a few feet away, you could see now that someone or something has traced out the letter C in the pool of blood.
Meta question. Did you guys tell us about the guy who hid in the office?
Not yet, I think.
I don't
Okay,
think so.
that's fine. That's fine. Okay, I'm waiting. See.
Do we all see this?
Yeah, if you go down the stairs, you guys kind of stop and you see this.
I'm gonna say out loud, Katerina, is that you?
You feel a slight push on your shoulder after you say that.
I'm gonna tell the group, I think this might be the ghost of Katerina.
Like from the bears.
And then when Bivoj says that, Bivoj, you feel a tap on your shoulder.
Oh, great. Hi, wherever you are.
Keep going. What do you want to tell us?
So you see this little bit of blood, as if somebody had dipped their finger in the pool of blood. They trace it. It kind of moves on its own up the wall, and it draws an arrow pointing down.
I say out loud, was that you who was drowned in the tub, Katerina?
You feel a push up against your shoulder.
Are you downstairs? In the basement?
There is no response.
There was an area below the fireplace that led to another chamber of some sorts.
Katerina, did the Lord kill you?
You feel a push, but this time it's kind of hard, like on your shoulder.
He did, didn't he? What a bastard. Okay.
I think he drowned her in the tub. I had a vision while I was there bathing last night, and It was so vivid. I had dipped my head under the water, and then I felt like a flashback of a memory of being drowned underneath, but the memory felt like it was of a woman.
So that's why the bears are choking me?
Could be.
That makes sense. Drowning.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay, yeah, we were going down to the high hall.
Okay.
We found a passage.
So you guys make your way down. You have two options for how you could get into the high hall. There's the doorway from the grand staircase, which is closest to you, but that door seems closed. Or you could go around through the armory, back down into the entrance foyer that's like across from the pantry, and then go in.
We could break the door down if it's locked, Bane.
Claude, you might want to go get Critter.
That would cause a ruckus.
Well, I was worrying about what's going on in Kennel with all this, but I think it's going to be too long, and definitely not going alone. I think he's better off alone there for now, and us taking care of this. As for getting to the room, I think we should try the shortcut and try the keys we got of Lantry. If it's locked.
So you approach the door.
Keys could open the door.
The door is indeed locked, but after trying each of the keys that you found on Landry, one of them works. And you turn it, you hear the click, and you open the door. As you look into the high hall, the very chamber where you had an elaborate multi-course feast, you see that it does not look the same as it looked during your fancy banquet. In fact, it is covered in cobwebs and dust. And even though the table has all the settings, they're all covered in dust and spider webs. As if like the room hasn't been used in many, many years.
Maybe during the night we are in our own time. What do we know?
Who all has light sources? I know that Leonard has his lantern. Okay, so Bane and Sarah and Oldrad, what do you have, candles?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have a candle with me, never mind.
Candle one.
Oh no, everybody's bedroom had a candle, so it's fine if you don't have it on your character sheet. So, all right. So with the lantern and the candles, you guys kind of see this sort of abandoned-looking dining room that doesn't look anything like it did. However, despite the cobwebs and spider webs and dust blanketing everything, you do see on the far side of the room, above the fireplace, you do see that large two-handed sword, that great sword.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not eat anything.
I was going to ask, was there any spoiled, rotten food on the table?
I thought that's where we was going.
As you approach the table, you don't see any food. It's as if everything had been laid out for the banquet, and then years had passed, and everything is just covered in dust and spider webs and cobwebs.
I want to approach the fireplace and investigate the sword, just search around it and see if it's anything unusual.
I'm next to Liber.
Okay, both of you roll me a d6. Tell me what you get.
Do I feel as if I have eaten?
1.
I will answer that question by saying yes. All of you feel like everything that happened in the previous day was real. Liber, you're examining the fireplace, and indeed, as you already knew, you see that the grate on the bottom of the fireplace can be removed, and there's like a secret sort of trap door that leads to a downward sloping sort of hollowed stone tunnel that seems to go down. But what you discover as you're investigating that is you actually hear sounds kind of echoing from whatever this goes down to below. You hear sounds, like you hear voices, people talking.
All right, everyone, I'm hearing sounds from downstairs. I'm hearing voices.
Should we take the sword?
Yes. I'm gonna sheath my sword and then gingerly pick up the two-hander if anything happens.
Okay. You take the sword off of the wall. The first thing that you find kind of interesting is that even though this is a great sword, it feels very light and very well balanced, like incredibly well balanced.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you notice is that the blade is extraordinarily sharp, like razor sharp.
That is also very strange.
So it hasn't suffered from the test of time, as the rest of the building seems to have.
No, there were cobwebs on it, and there's dust.
Dust.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not rusty enough.
But it feels incredibly like you kind of do some slow swinging around, and it's incredibly well balanced for such a blade of such enormous length.
We had already established that this was made of the same material as the disc that we found, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. How close is Liber to you?
I assume we're very close to each other right now.
You guys have all kind of migrated over to this area. You notice something else too, like as you're sort of holding it up and examining it, and people are coming in closer. When somebody comes in closer with their candle, you see an ever so slight greenish sort of reflection on the blade. But otherwise, the blade has kind of a very dull gray look to it.
Yeah.
Who has the disc?
I don't know.
Let's bring the disc. Let's bring the disc out and see if they interact with each other.
Yeah.
And maybe we can find the cat that went down.
I take out the disc and try to hand it to Oldrad if anything happens. He has the sword.
Oh, shit. Okay.
The disc looks like it's made of the same metal as the sword, but nothing particularly interacts per se.
Okay.
Are there any carvings or anything on the sword?
Like runes or writings?
Yes.
Do I
You
recognize
notice towards the hilt that there's it's been stamped, which is not uncommon with a weapon to be stamped by the maker of it, but you don't recognize the script in which it has been stamped. It looks like, actually, I'll have Leonard make a roll. Roll me a d6.
Me?
Let me think about that. All right, so what did you get, Leonard?
3.
Okay, so you can't translate what the script says, but you recognize a few characters of these runes that seem to be similar to what you see on the disc, as if maybe it was from the same language.
Looks like it's maybe same maker.
Not necessarily the same maker, but like it would be like if you saw a few characters from a language that you didn't know that are similar, but you can't. It doesn't mean you can translate it, but you could recognize similar characters being used.
Yeah. Oh.
So you have this greatsword. You guys are in the high hall, and the dining room is quiet, other than what Liber heard, which sounded like some voices from below.
Did we ever hear about or find a way that would lead down to the underneath here?
No.
I'm asking the group.
I think we found the grate. We think we can take the grate down.
Well,
but is it big enough for us to actually slide down there?
So you know there's still a part of the first floor that you guys haven't really explored.
Right. The
Sarah,
kitchen.
yeah, Sarah had gone and had I think stumbled upon Landry's office.
Mhm.
But you guys, you feel like the area where the kitchens is an area that maybe you haven't explored yet.
Yeah, I was going to say there should be a back entrance to this room where the maids came in to serve us the dinner. So probably through there towards the kitchens would be someplace down for the staff rooms. I'd say
yeah,
go
and
through
also
that door and-
storage.
Yeah. Let's check it out.
Can everyone be quiet for 1 second? I want to see if I listen really carefully, if I can make out any words or recognize any voices from downstairs. And I'm going to put my ear down and I'll listen, see what I can hear.
You hear, it sounds like at least 3 distinct voices, like 2 kind of male voices and then maybe a female voice.
Do I recognize any of them?
They have the same timbre of the speech that you had heard earlier in the day, but you can't specifically recognize whose voices they are.
I'm going to let everyone know. And I'm also going to say, I feel like, looking around the room, I feel like we may have returned to our own time. Like, I feel like we were in the past before, and now maybe we're back in the present.
That's what I have said. We should find the way downstairs. If there are people, they can tell us what's going on.
Let's check out the kitchen.
Mhm.
Don't you think there will be more of this stuff which attack us?
So I'm a little confused. Are you guys going to where do you intend to go?
Well, I know where Landry's office is.
Yes.
I'd
Well-
say go through the kitchen and downstairs.
Check out the kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kitchen.
All right. So you follow Sarah out into the entrance foyer. As you may or may not recall, when you went into the entrance foyer, there were a bunch of tall folding screens that had like paintings and tapestries on them. When you get out to the entrance foyer, you notice that the artwork is different. Instead of being like scenes of like beautiful countrysides or like nobles and battles, all of the scenes are terrifying depictions of torture. All of them, like bodies being flayed and you know, people being hung and people being impaled on spikes, just one scene after another of gruesome torture.
Any drownings?
No.
Does this like ring any bells? Like, does it remind us of anything particular?
Boy, this is one sick artist.
Not really.
Maybe achievements of the local lord? Yeah, who knows?
As you pass around those screens, you see that there's the door to the pantry. When you go into the pantry, it looks very similar to what you saw before, Sarah, but everything is covered in dust. And the food that is on those shelves has long decayed and expired.
Let's check out this room first. I start moving things and tapping on walls and stuff like that.
You do for a minute or so, but you do see the door that is through the pantry that goes into Landry's office.
Okay. I'm gonna stand at the door.
That door is locked.
Okay, who has the keys?
Okay. Once again, you pull out the keys that you got off of Landry, and after fiddling around for a moment, you find one that fits and unlock the door.
I don't open the door yet.
Okay.
I say, everyone ready?
Yep.
Ready.
Okay, I have my sword out, and I quickly open the door and step behind it.
Okay. Again, it looks much like what you saw during the day, but everything is covered in dust and spider webs. You see a very humble bed, a desk and a chair, a chest with drawers, a small fireplace. You see what looks like ledgers, maybe some accounts of the estate on the desk, and you even see like the stub of a candle, but it doesn't look like anyone's been in here in a long time.
I check the desk.
Okay, give me a percentile roll.
I was going to say, just light the desk candle, and I'll go looking through the books on the desk. But
Okay.
37.
So searching around and through the desk, yeah. Sorry, I seem to have misplaced my table. My table of random. Okay, as you're searching, you pull open a drawer and you see a pouch kind of lifted up, and it sounds like there's coins inside the pouch.
Take a look inside.
Okay. You reach in and you see that there's a sizable amount of silver coins. To be specific, there are 100 silver coins. You see that the minting on them, as well as the dates, varies, but most of them are from the 880s or 890s. And after a few minutes of looking through, the newest minted coin seems to be from the year 895. And all of them are minted from the kingdom of Avendia.
So like I said, while they're going through that stuff, I want to go through the ledgers that are on the desk.
Okay.
See what they're about.
Since you are not illiterate, you can actually read, and it looks like it looks like basically an accounting of all of the kitchen supply orders, all the food orders, crop yields from different farms, taxes that have been collected, and the years seem to span like 891 through 895.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was specifically looking for dates. And if there's anything like a diary of sorts of record of guests.
Yeah, you don't find any ledger that indicates any kind of diary, journal, or any kind of personal things.
No, but like if they would list if they had guests stopping by and who those guests would have been, that kind of record.
Well,
roll a d6.
I look under the mattress on the bed.
That's a 6.
Okay. Yeah, you don't really find anything as you're flipping through page after page.
Okay. But they're back in the late 900s. 9th century.
Yeah, the late 800s. Yeah.
Yeah.
I look under the mattress to see if he's got anything hidden there. Nothing
is hidden.
There was a bookcase or something, a dresser or something you said, although?
Yeah, so I'm going to say you spend about 10 minutes going through this room, right? You thoroughly search, and pretty much other than what I already mentioned, that's all you find in here. There is another door on the opposite side of the room, and that door, if anyone tries it, is not locked.
Wonder what happened in 895. It seems like everything stopped there.
I believe the fall of Nargenheim.
Yeah.
Said there was a fireplace too, right? Is there another right in here?
I guess I guess we
There-
should. I should bring
There
up
is
something.
a fireplace, but this does not have a grate.
Okay.
And it's way smaller. Like it's tiny. It's basically just enough to heat the room.
Liber, I think we should bring up the fellow we met.
Yes. We've met. We when we were doing our first search, we found a study with the man hiding. It was we knew it was Martin, but it wasn't Martin. And I tell the story that he told us, as well as about the discrepancies in the time, which I think we kind of all know already. And I also mentioned that these coins seem to also correspond with that time and from Avendia. Anything else you want to add to that, Oldrad?
He just seemed to have come into this situation that we have in a similar way, but he went all the way through the maze, he said, while some of us did not. So I'm not sure if that had anything to do with anything. But
Did you ask him what year he thought it was?
Yes, he said.
Yes. So yeah, go ahead.
1132, I believe he said.
34.
1134.
Yes. So he might have come from, and even I don't even understand it, but he could have come from the future, which is a weird thing to even say. But
from our perspective of knowledge, yeah.
Yeah, because from what our understanding is, we were coming from a time of 1130.
20.
20? Oh.
Yeah.
Alternatively, we could have been asleep for 14 years.
Or we could have forgotten.
I feel like we would have grown.
If we recall, when we were in the cave, I think we found some coins. Our coins were minted 1120. Yeah. We found coins of 1119 that looked very old, used.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and did you ask him why didn't he leave this place? He was hiding around here.
He said he was unable to leave.
He said he tried multiple ways and multiple times and could not escape.
Yes.
And he also told us that the people in the house change at night and they attack, as we've seen.
Okay.
But he didn't mention like climbing over the walls or anything and actually escaping and then fighting himself back here, or?
No, he said he couldn't escape. That's what he said.
Oh.
He didn't say in detail that explanation. He just said he couldn't escape.
All right. Sounds like an interrogation in the future. Or the past. I don't know.
If we find a way out, don't we just want to leave? We can't leave him and Critter behind.
No. I think we left the rope hanging on this side of the wall. So technically, I suppose we could all gather our stuff and head back over and see if the rope's still there and climb back out.
How many of this stuff did you guys all encountered already? We encountered one mate and the lord of the house. So there should be stable boy. There should be another 2 mates or something.
Yes. You guys have encountered quite a few staff members during the day who you have not yet seen at night.
How far along in the night are we?
Maybe midnight.
Okay, still quite a ways till dawn.
Actually, I would say not. Yeah, about midnight, because your whole banquet, like the dinner, went pretty late, and then by the time you were brought back to your chambers and laid down, went to sleep, whatever, for a little while, or it. I would say it's probably midnight.
Well, you at least got to get Critter. You don't want to leave him here.
No, but like I said, if we plan on trying to get to the wall and see if the rope is still there and climb back out, I'm definitely going for Critter.
We're not
Okay.
going behind.
But the question is, are we?
Just a small note. We left Critter back in that time, and we left the rope over the wall back in that time.
Well, that's the question.
In this time, the Critter may be already dead. And just by the way, I saw someone from outside the window that went to the stables. We may check that as well.
Yeah, but he's not at the stables.
Yeah, we'll find out.
And since we are still here, I would expect Critter to also be here.
Well,
I think we should continue our exploration and see what's happening.
Yes.
Do need to make our way downstairs if we're not to forget the ghost's warning.
Yeah.
You go through the door on the other side of the room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You see what you assume to be kind of a servant's hallway. Again, dust, cobwebs. You see a door that is open through this short hallway 10 feet away that looks like it opens into the kitchens. And then you see a set of stairs, one going up, one going down.
Do the stairs look like they're going towards where it would go underneath the high hall?
Well, you're in the east wing, so it definitely goes downstairs to whatever's below the mansion.
Let's head down.
Yeah, let's head down.
Okay. Who's up front?
I wouldn't mind.
I'll go. I'm behind Bane.
Okay, so somebody with light.
I
have light.
I have a candle.
I'm in the rear.
Okay, so you go down the stairs, and this is definitely servants level. Like it's the walls are just rough stone. It's just plain wooden stairs with gaps, and they're kind of uneven, and they creak a lot as you're going down. But when you get to the bottom, you find yourself in a room that looks like the wine cellar. You see that there's floor-to-ceiling rows of shelving with notches and bottles of wine covered in dust and cobwebs, but probably 200 bottles of wine.
I'll definitely take some wine for the road.
There is also a door to your right and a door straight past the wine cellar that looks like both of those doors are rough wooden doors, and both of them are closed.
I'll take the one on the right. See if it's locked. Turn the doorknob or whatever.
That door is locked.
Keys. Please.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try the keys.
Okay, you start to fuddle around with the keys. And one of the keys actually works to open the door.
Pull it out and hand the keys back to whoever gave them to me. We ready for this?
Have my bow out.
Okay, I'll open the door.
Okay. As you open the door to this room, it's about 20 feet deep and about 15 feet wide. You see an enormous rectangular wooden table that's in the middle of the room with no chairs around it. And you see a whole bunch of apparatus on this table. You see glass vials and beakers. You see small, like stone bowls that have like what looks like maybe coal next to them. You see tubes. You're guessing somehow, maybe made of like, animals' intestines, that kind of stuff. And you see on the wall, on these narrow wooden shelves, are just dozens of different little bottles that have different kind of what looks like powders and pigments, and some of them have crystals in them. You also see a side table that has a whole bunch of different tools as well. Small, like almost like tweezers and small picks, a tiny saw.
Do we see any work in progress?
No, everything's covered in dust and cobwebs. In the back of the room, in other words, totally opposite from you, you also see a tall, like a wooden, almost like a closet that's built out from the wall instead of being built into the wall. It's the height of like 8 feet in height. And it looks like it's got one big door. So imagine, if you will, like an 8-foot tall refrigerator with one door made of wood. That's kind of what it looks like. One big heavy door. And the door has a handle on it, and it looks like it's got a hole for a key.
I'm gonna walk up on it and meanwhile look around and see if any of those bottles and files have any labels on them.
Everything is labeled. However, you don't recognize the script in which it is labeled.
Okay. And then I'm going to try the door.
You do get to make a D6, though. And actually, I would say, Leonard, you also should roll a D6.
Okay.
And that's another 6.
1.
Okay. Claude, you don't recognize any of the writing. You don't recognize the script. Leonard, as you are kind of looking, you see that, again, you see these recurring characters. You see like examples of this, whatever that script on the metal tablet was. You see that this has also been used to label all of the bottles.
Can I sniff to some of the bottles if they look like conserved or well closed?
Each one of the bottles has like a cork stopper in it, and you don't see any of them that have liquid. It's all dried powders and crystals. So they all seem to be preserved.
Would I recognize any of them?
That is a fantastic question. I don't know that your character would know what these are, but I'll give you a let me pull up what your specialist things are, because I don't remember what you took your points in. Okay. You know what? Give me a tinker roll.
Okay. 4.
Okay.
4.
So you're not sure what the contents of these vials, what their purpose is. But as you're looking at the apparatus on the table, you are fairly certain that the apparatus on the table is intended to be used for some kind of alchemical processing, some kind of mixing of different elements and ingredients. You're not sure what it would make or what it could have been used for, but you're fairly certain that somehow these powders and the apparatus on the table must be used for some kind of alchemical purpose.
I'm going to wonder aloud. I wonder if whatever they were doing down here is what turned them into these monsters.
Well, I want to look around for any written documents just laying out anywhere.
Curiously, you find no books in this room.
Ah, but there's the cabinet.
There is a cabinet.
So, I'm going to put my candle on the table right across from it. Is there a knob or a latch or anything?
There's a handle and a lock.
Well, I'll test the handle.
It is locked. You wiggle it. You hear it kind of, the lock holding it in place.
Can I search specifically for a key in the room?
Yes.
How about one of Landry's keys?
You try all of Landry's keys,
Yeah,
and none of them open this cabinet.
didn't think so.
Those of you who wish to search specifically for a key, go ahead and roll a d6.
Well, I'm going to try my activity for door opening, which I have 4 pips. So let's try.
Okay.
That. No, that's just. I'm rolling 6s all night.
Yeah, in any other game, that would be great.
Yeah.
You try to like force the door, and whatever is holding this thing in that lock seems to be pretty damn sturdy. Is anyone else searching around for a key?
I want to try my luck at the door.
All right, forcing the door.
I've got 4 as well. I rolled. Yeah, is this a d6?
Yeah.
D20.
Roll a d6.
2.
All right. Bane, you go up and you grab that handle and you kind of start wiggling it and you just pull and you hear splintering of wood. And as you rip that door back, those of you who are kind of standing behind with the lantern light from Leonard's lantern and the candles flickering, inside of this cabinet, you see standing in an upright position a very withered human corpse. Desiccated, as if it's been dried out. The skin is pulled back on the cheeks. The lips are pulled back over the teeth. The eye sockets have sunk.
Do you recognize it?
No. Doesn't look like anyone you've seen.
Does it
I run it
fall
through
out,
with the great
or
sword.
or is it still in the cabinet?
It's kind of in the cabinet, and it's a male. It's clearly a male corpse because it doesn't have any clothes on. But you don't. It's not a male that you recognize. Oldrad, you said you were doing what?
I stab it right through the chest with the great sword.
Let's try beheading it.
Okay.
That's secondary.
I'm gonna actually say that you succeed.
Oh,
So
okay.
your attack roll being the automatic success that it's going to be, because the opponent is in a box and not moving. I think it's fair that you don't even need to roll to attack. But I am curious how much damage you will do.
Mhm.
So I'm going to have you roll.
I don't know what the damage die is for the great sword.
So a great weapon does 1d10 in this game. Plus, yeah. And normally you don't get to add in your strength bonus to damage. So
Right. All right. 10. I only rolled a 1.
okay, you stab into it and you hear like the skin crunch and kind of, you see like this powder almost come out of it when you stab into it. And then the thing's eyes open and it lunges out towards you.
Of course.
Oh, you stabbed it with the special sword.
I did.
Ooh.
I need you to make an opposed strength roll under.
Roll under, okay.
You want to roll under your strength, and the lower the better.
Correct. My strength is decent. That is a fail, my good sir.
Sometimes I have to break my own rules, and in this case, I'm going to screen share just so you can see how I rolled for this guy.
No.
Awesome.
So you are grappled.
Okay.
Your sword is still in the middle of this thing, and it kind of split itself into the sword and grabbed you by the throat.
Yeah.
Squeezing for 2 damage.
2 damage.
Yes, Bane, your turn. What do you do?
Can I reach the handle of the sword that's plunged into this thing?
Yeah, I mean, you could step up next to Oldrad.
I'm going to try to do that and try to grab the sword and pull it up so that it'll split him in half.
Okay, make an attack roll.
That's 17.
All right, roll a d10.
That's a 4.
Okay, you're lifting up. You hear bones crunch. You see the desiccated paper-like flesh ripping. You don't get all the way up to the neck, but you're well into the chest cavity. There is no expression of pain from this corpse, but it clearly has Oldrad's neck in a vice-like grip. Bivoj.
I try not to hurt my buddies, but I'll pierce the corpse with my spear.
Okay.
Oh, at least I try. So that means this is 16. And if it hits, it's 6 damage.
It does hit. And it does take 6 damage. Claude.
Great.
Claude, you are up.
Yeah. I maneuver around the side and just grab his head and just yank it, trying to pull his head off.
Okay, make a strength roll under.
Crap. It's 1 over my strength.
You know what that doesn't beat? A 2.
Yeah.
It resists your attempt. Havardr.
I'm gonna circle around the other side of Claude and swing for the arm. Try
Attack.
to get this thing from 20 to hit.
Yes. Damage.
2.
You cut through its arm. Its arm is still holding Oldrad's neck, but you've just cut it off.
Oh.
Sarah.
I'm going to pull out my dagger and go up to where the hand is holding on Oldrad's neck and try to, I'll start with the pointer finger and try to wedge it off his face.
Okay.
Well, that's let's see, something like a +7, 14.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much a dagger does. Anyone know that?
4.
4. Yeah. So 1.
Okay.
Basically, I'm trying to bend the finger backwards.
You bend one of the fingers off. Liber, your turn.
If I want to drop my bow and pull out my rapier, could I do that without losing a turn?
Sure.
All right, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to try to behead this thing.
Okay. You may roll.
7.
You stab out at it, cutting into its desiccated flesh, but not seeming to have much of an impact. Leonard.
I see that everybody is huddled onto the corpse. Currently my recruit is out of the order, so I try to pick up a random bottle from this stack and hurl it onto the head of the corpse.
Okay. Make a ranged attack roll.
19 plus. Is it 12 dex?
Yeah, that's a hit.
Here? Yeah.
Okay. Roll percentile dice for me.
61.
Okay. The vial shatters and it spreads this reddish pigment, like this reddish dust, all over the like kind of the face and the neck of this thing. Oldrad, you're up.
I'm gonna try and bring the great sword up through its face.
Okay, so you and Bane are both trying to lift it up.
Yep. Yeah. Let's see. That's gonna be 16.
Yes.
7 damage.
You rip upwards, and the sword cuts through up into the jaw and splits the skull in half. And the whole thing slumps over, no longer animated.
Oh, thank the old gods. I say
Thank
inside my head. I do not say that out loud.
First ghosts, now mummies. What's next, a vampire?
Don't say such things, Havardr.
Did we set it on fire?
I welcome whatever comes.
Perhaps
is
you could
very
take another piece of
strange.
trophy. You damaged it as well, Bane.
I shall take a finger. Off your throat, my friend.
Here, have that one. That Sarah bent backwards.
I try to
Okay.
get the fingers off his neck.
Yeah, in a few moments, you're able to relinquish the death grip of this thing. So, what else do you guys do or take, or do you move on?
Is there something behind the corpse in the closet? Or
No,
was it just
the corpse was literally just by itself, no clothing in this cabinet.
I'm beheading it as well.
Okay, it's on the floor, so you just chop off the head.
I want to search the body, but also check the mouth. I want to see if there are fangs in this thing.
There are no fangs in it. The body, like I said, it was completely nude. The only thing that you notice is maybe kind of weird is that there's absolutely no body hair on it at all. Like nothing on its head, no eyebrows, no body hair anywhere.
I'll pick up one of the pigment bottles, uncork it, put a little bit of that stuff on my finger, and rub it on his arm.
Okay, nothing
Okay.
happens.
No, but does it paint it?
Yeah, sure.
I wonder if this isn't makeup.
Who knows? We can't read any of the script. We don't really know what any of those items are.
Well, let's
Right.
keep searching.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes.
I'm not searching there.
No, but next room.
Oh,
Yeah.
different
Okay.
room.
You leave the laboratory, you go out into the wine cellar, and as I said, there's another door heading west, but that door is closed.
Is
Not
it
for long, I
locked?
hope.
It is not locked.
I'll open the door this time. Are you ready, everyone?
I
I
have
get
my-
back to my bow.
Yeah, I have my
ready?
bow ready.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Open.
Opening the door, you see a hallway that looks at least as long as the amount of light that you have, maybe 30 feet, possibly more.
Mhm.
And that it ends with a closed door at the end of this hallway. But on the right side, there's a door just about 5 feet in from where you're standing, and then another door 10 feet past that. Both of those doors are closed.
Okay.
Do we
First
hear
one.
anything?
Yeah. Do we?
Well, let's go door by door.
Yeah.
You don't
Open
wanna
all the
be
doors at
surprised
once,
from somebody coming
so we
through the
don't
back.
get a surprise. Open
Okay,
them all
so
at
the
once.
The door nearest you guys, you try the handle, it's unlocked. When you open it up, you see a storage room, about 15 feet wide by 10 feet deep. There are shelves from floor to ceiling on all the walls, as well as stacked up crates. And you see a whole bunch of what looks like more dried foods, barrels of liquid, you're not sure what's in them, and even other kind of supplies like tools, like hammers, chisels. You see boots, you see gloves, and you see rope.
Is it in good condition?
What's that?
Is the stuff in good condition?
No, it's all covered in cobwebs and dust. It looks very old.
I
Yeah,
wipe
but is
off
it still
some.
in good condition? Underneath all the dust, is it still in good condition?
The supplies are, yeah. I mean the hammers and the picks are a little rusty. The
Rope is still
the
sturdy.
rope seems pretty weak. Looks like some of it is disintegrated. The food stuff is all dried up. Like everything that you see looks desiccated and dried up.
Mhm.
I wipe the dust off the sides of the boxes and see if I can see any identification on where this came from or cartage information or anything.
Nothing.
Well, it's empty. Next.
Yes.
I'm gonna grab a hammer and a chisel.
Okay.
I'm gonna start busting crates with my
During-
axe and see if I can.
During the rummaging through, I'm trying to ascertain whether we are somewhere near the Great Hall, like if we're somewhere underneath it, or whichever direction we should go.
You can, if you would like, you can make a D6 roll for architecture.
Okay, I surely won't, but yeah, it's 2.
Okay.
That's bad.
You feel like from where you went, you haven't gone that far, but you are in the right. You're going in the right direction.
Okay.
Coming out of the storage room, you go down the hall a little further, and there's another door to the right, and then there's a door 10 feet past that, straight ahead at the end of the hallway.
Like I said, door by door.
Okay. You try the door to the right; it is locked.
Any of the keys work?
You try all of the keys that Landry had, and none of them work.
All right.
Old-fashioned way it is.
Battering down.
Yep.
Bane, seek the door.
Okay. You want to smash the door open? Go ahead. Roll a D6.
2 under 4.
Bane leverages and smashes the door open. Again, wood splintering, very loud sound. And when the door swings open, you get this whiff of this smell. And it's kind of like it's a very earthy kind of smell mixed with a little bit of like rot and maybe some manure, like fertilizer. And you see that the walls for the first like 10 feet of this hallway seem to be kind of like bricked up, like stone brickwork and masonry. And then after that, as you could see the light, it looks like it more opens up into kind of like almost cave walls that curve around the corner about 15 feet down this short hallway.
Does it remind me of a sewer under a mansion or something?
It doesn't smell like sewer smell. It smells like stagnant air, damp, earthy smell.
Well, should we check the other door before we go exploring down this?
I'd like to destroy these crates with my great axe. Or my battle axe.
As you are contemplating this, you actually hear voices on the other side of that door.
The last one?
The door that was at the end of the hallway. So you're about 5 feet away from it, and you hear voices on the other side of the door. One of the voices sounds like a male voice, and you hear him say, "What's making all of that ruckus? Go see." And then you hear the sound of a key in the lock.
Havardr, that's your vampire.
I hide into the second door. If everybody's getting ready. So
Yes,
not
and we're
directly-
you guys are readying weapons,
Mm-hmm.
and you hear the door lock click, and the door opens, and you see one of the two footmen, Kail. And you see him opening the door, and you kind of see him to the side, and he has a candle in one hand, and he's opening the door in the other. And as he turns back to face you, you notice that half of his head has a huge gash in it, like the kind of gash that would be made from somebody hitting it with a blade. And he looks out at you and he goes, "What are you doing out of your rooms?" And that is where we'll end this episode of the Lamenters. Thank you for tuning in to the Cursed Chateau. We'll find out what the party does on the next episode. Until then, happy gaming, everybody, and peace out. Hello, everyone, and welcome back.
No, wait, we can't do it.
God damn it, Karafa. I'm on a Zoom. This isn't the studio. You can't do it.
How many seconds was that?
It's a feral Karafa interrupting my flow.
Well, hello, and welcome to Bilalin World. I am Wizzy, the Wizard. I'm back once again to remind you to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and also watch videos that are over there. Tune in to the next episode of whatever show you are just watching, and watch other shows featuring Bill. He made me say that because he's a narcissist. Okay, bye.